What do you like about this movie?
It's just... Well, I love action, right? And I also like a little bit of, like, kind of, like, of the unknown, in a way. And, like, I kind of like plot twists and stuff. And there's also, like, a lot of, like, surprising deaths in it, too. And I was like, no! They got me attached to the characters so quickly. Mm-hmm. But also, again, with, like, the dystopian, like, fictional. Like, I like the Hunger Games diversion, not so much, but maybe the first movie. All the other movies are kind of trash.
I like the books.
But...
Did you read the Maze Runner books ever, or just watch?
No, I was not a book reader.
That's fair. The books are
better than the movies.
I heard.
Thank you, producer.
I heard. But I also just think everyone played their role nice, and I did really get attached to the characters, like Newt. I love him.
He's the little blonde guy, right?
Yeah.
Yes, baby Newt.
I was really how they played out with, like, the runners, and how Dylan O'Brien just kind of, like, stepped in and was like, I'm gonna be the runner. And then Gally, like, he was kind of, like, the antagonist of the movie, and he's like, no, we've been in this maze. This is what we're destined to be. And then Thomas is like, no, there's hope. And I kind of was like, yes, there is, Thomas.
Yes, Thomas.
Yes, there is.
I think what I remember is this movie felt very high stakes. Like, that's why it freaked me out so much as a kid, is I legitimately had, like, no idea what would happen once they went in the maze, and that really scared me. Just, like, it was so dark and scary, and, like, that he gets, like, the one note that they didn't say in the thing is that it closes, like, the gate closes every night, so if you're out there too late, you get stuck for the night, and no one ever, like, I think they said no one ever makes it through the night.
Yeah. Except for
Dylan O'Brien.
And then, like, mic drop, and then everyone's like, oh my god, Dylan, our savior.
Yes.
But, also, like, I felt like as soon as, like, I remember the one time in the movie, as soon as, like, Dylan came there, everything kind of started to change, but Gally saw it as bad, but Thomas saw it as, like, a good thing, like, they're finding a way out, and because, like, the gates opened at night, one of the scenes, and, like, Reavers came in and, like, killed so many people, and so, also the action of it I really liked, too.
Well,
so.
that's, like, it's so stressful, because you don't know what's going on this entire first movie, because throughout the series we find out there's a lot, conspiring behind the scenes, but, we won't get into that, but it makes it all make a little more sense and stuff but the whole time you're kind of left in the dark for a lot of it, but, how do you feel about, like, the plot line once they introduced, like, the girl to the movie? I forgot what her name was.
Oh, Teresa?
Teresa? Her name's Teresa?
Yeah.
That's funny. I forgot.
I thought it was interesting because, Dylan and Thomas and Teresa were actually doctors and, like, scientists of Wicked, the company that's trying to, like, fix this whole cursed world and, like, the zombie apocalypse and all that stuff. And they were sent, I don't know. Oh, because they're trying to find kids. They're trying to test kids who can be the cure for this disease and stuff.
Why is this your favorite movie of all time? Like, what makes it top the others?
I like the series. I was always growing up, like, watching action movies, and maybe it's, since, like, a lot of people said not a lot of people, but, like, my friends always said it was, like, scary to watch, I think maybe it's also, like, I don't know, why is it my favorite movie? I just really like the story, and I like how they all went to, like, all the movies, it kind of, like, played out in a very, like, variety of way.
Yeah,
like the first
they're all
movie,
very different.
Yeah, the first movie's and the reason, and when you were saying, like, it's the unknown, like, the first movie, like, there's so many, even at the end of the movie, there's still so many questions
of you have no idea
why they're there, why this happened, why did that happen.
Yeah, I liked that. I was like, they never tell you why in the first movie.
And then the next movie, and then the next movie after that, like, answers secretly start revealing, but also how their journey went out, and Dylan's, like, I keep calling him Dylan.
You can call him Dylan.
Okay. Thomas's journey just keeps, like, his...
It's okay.
Thomas's journey, he keeps, like, getting stronger and stronger, and just becomes, character development in there, too, I thought was nice. And, what I thought was really cool, actually, is that in the third movie, the antagonist of the first movie came back, and we all thought he died, but he came back, and he becomes, like, a good guy and helps them.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, just a bunch of, like, plot twists and surprises in the movie that I really enjoyed. And also, I don't know, I kind of, like, always like the dystopian, like, zombie apocalypse rule the world, what's gonna happen, blah, blah, blah. And so, I also thought the other types of, like, concepts and plots they came up was really cool with, like, Wicked and stuff like that, and how the movie ended, too. Like, Newt died.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry if I spoiled it.
No, it's okay.
Teresa died.
Really?
Oh, there was this 12-year-old... Remember the 12-year-old in the first movie? His name was Chuck.
I think so.
He died in the first movie.
Dang.
And you really get connected to them easily. I don't know. Maybe I'm just connected,
definitely.
so... I don't know. I like everything. And the fiction of it all, the fantasy of it all, I feel like I like, so...
Interesting. Well, I have here some Maze Runner fun facts.
Oh my goodness!
The film was actually shot on a local farm that was not a typical and safe, like, clean Hollywood set. And so the production team had to deal with, like, bugs and snakes, including venomous ones requiring snake wranglers.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, that's crazy. Is this for the first movie?
Yes.
Okay.
Like, that whole thing was like a... it was filmed on a 200-acre farm using 18 acres for the filming. And, finding 25 venomous snakes on the property, including a 5-foot rattlesnake before filming. The director, Wes Ball, he drew inspiration from films like Terrence Malick's work and Jurassic Park.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see, there's another one that I thought was interesting. The sequel was actually greenlit 2 weeks before the premiere of the first movie because the reviews were so positive.
Mm-hmm.
The producer involved his kids in the casting process, so he, like, showed them the auditions and got feedback from his kids.
Okay. Nice.
So these are all off IMDb, but to gain the role of Chuck, actor Blake Cooper continuously campaigned for an audition via Twitter. He would send the director, like, lots of tweets saying he was made for the role, and eventually he, like, caved and let him have the role.
That's hilarious.
I don't know if these are exactly true, but they're from the IMDb website.
Mm-hmm.
Thomas Brody Sangster would put a rock in his shoe so he'd remember to limp. His character, the one that had the limp.
Wait, what was it again?
Thomas Brody Sangster was the actor, and he would put a rock in his shoe.
Oh, yeah, that's when he was, like, low-key, like, turning, like, he got bit by the zombie.
Yeah.
And he was, like, fighting Thomas, like, he was, like, kind of, like, turning into the zombie, but still, like, no,
But
Thomas.
so he had a rock in his shoe, so he'd limp.
Yeah.
More naturally. The cast spent the week before production participating in survival training in the Glade. They learned how to build tools and shelter out of the surrounding nature. So they had, like, a cute little summer camp, which I think is super fun. Dylan O'Brien's hairstyle almost cost him the role of Thomas because the director thought it was too MTV. Dylan O'Brien had 4 days to read the book before filming. So he had to cruise through that thing.
Now I want to read the book.
Yeah, if you love the movie, I just think you should read the book.
Mm-hmm.
Dylan O'Brien broke his cheekbone while filming the scene where he was running from his first griever. He slipped during a jump, apparently. That's interesting.
Oh, damn. That was, like, when he was on top of, like, the walls of the maze, like, moves and shift. So he was, like, running on top of it and, like, jumping, and there's this one jump scene, and he had, like, grab onto the side of the wall and, like, grab on the vines and probably hit his cheek, yeah.
Wes Ball and Wick Godfrey, who are, like, the director and producer, their names are written on the the Glader name wall.
Oh, okay. Oh, so every time a person would die from their maze, they would engrave, like, their name on the wall. And what's funny is that by the second movie, we figure out that there's more mazes.
Oh,
and that, like, these other people out living in, like, tribes and trying to survive, they also have been in the mazes and done other things. Like, there was one maze that was an all-girls maze, but there was one guy in it too, and then that kind of crashed somehow. So
interesting.
Yeah.
In the movie, grievers have legs and run, but in the book, they roll and have arms inside them that come out and have things such as knives on the end.
Oh, that must be terrifying.
They roll.
Oh,
I don't like that.
I didn't like that either.
Well, that's all of my fun facts for this movie. Are there any closing statements you want to make?
Well, I want to watch the Maze Runner series now that we're talking about it, so, and I'll still continue to be a movie freak ever since, but it was so nice talking to you.
Yes, thank you so much for joining me. Madison Schiffbauer, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, thank you. Round of applause, yay. Thank you, Ruby.
Of course. Well, guys, that's it for this episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you learned something new, and hopefully don't hate us for our opinions on your favorite or least favorite movie. If you like what you heard today, you can follow us on Spotify, Apple, or anywhere else you listen to your podcasts. Your support is what keeps this thing going, and I'd love to talk about more movies with you. Check us out next week, where we'll be discussing our next film, and feel free to comment if you have a movie you'd really love for us to discuss. Yeah, it'll be lots of fun. I'm Ruby Gilbreth, and this has been The Bigger Picture.